and jelly rolls.
Yeah, right.
And I found out there's a new name for these layer cakes now, or maybe it's not new, but it's new to me. These are called dimes, and these, because they're 5 by 5, are called nickels.
Nickels.
So there's a pattern. There's a pattern called nickels and dimes. So I thought I'd just demonstrate that. And if you're not familiar with layer cakes, one of the interesting things that I've just learned is that, say you go to a fabric company like Moda, and you get into their line of French General, then all of the fabric, say, and then you bought another one. This was Josephine, but it's still from that same line. I think the line is, well, this one's Josephine, this was Chateau Rouge, but you notice they all will coordinate with each other, even if it's got a different name. I'm not sure how far that goes through their whole line. Like, there might be a big name up that's the main thing, like, I'm sure there is. And then, but even though they're subdivided into other lines, they coordinate.
And they have tons of free patterns on there.
Yes.
It's amazing how many
Yeah.
patterns you can
I
get.
lost my
Any fabric
I think I
manufacturer.
put it there when I started.
So I have
Free patterns, just all over fabric.
I have one layer cake and one, this is a charm pack. I said jelly roll, but they also have jelly rolls, which are the 2.5-inch strips.
Right.
So what you do with this is you take your plain fabric. I maybe I should just do it this way. Take a background. You're going to try and mix up lights and darks. So take a background. It's 10 by 10. And here's my, under here somewhere, there's some more.
I love those colors.
So, you know, you flip through, you think, well, you would like a dark one. Just for showing this, I'll probably choose this one. And just like Sandy, oh my gosh, gotta measure, no.
Did you make a template?
I used duct tape. Take a roll of duct tape, and where there's several inches, you know, stuck together, like it's stuck together, cut into it to make yourself some little stickies that go on your rulers. And so I measured it out the very first time so that I have, if I put my ruler here at 10 by 10, then I can see where my 5 by 5 patch goes.
Oh.
And I put a couple of pins in there. So you can do this for other things that you're doing.
Yes.
You know, if you do something enough times, 42 times, I was going to have go crazy and make more mistakes. So this way, then you know, tape it down.
Yep.
The thing you do with
Go
this,
back over. You said you instead of sticking the duct tape. What did you do?
this is duct tape. And I
Several
just
layers
Just
of
made
it.
several layers.
thick
of
layers,
it.
cut it with an
And they cut
X-Acto
it.
knife,
Yeah.
little
Okay.
pieces, you know, cut it off and keep those little chunks, and then you use them for different things. You can rip them off or whatever, whenever you need to.
Don't they leave a residue?
That's quite an idea.
No, it
And
doesn't?
if it does, just use rubbing alcohol.
okay.
That will take off felt pen as well. If you want permanent markers on this instead.
Use hairspray. Hairspray will take it right off.
And rubbing alcohol.
I used to wear a lab coat, and if our
Or
pins,
dry erase markers.
yeah,
They'll take off permanent marker too.
If our pins got in the pockets of the white, all you did was spray it with hairspray.
Really?
It came right out.
Okay, good. So then you have your squares like this. And what you want to do is with this one, you do 1/8 of an inch around. You start in the middle of a line, of a you know, square, and you go 1/8 of an inch around. Now that,
Regular stitch or a zigzag?
just a regular stitch.
Okay.
It will fray up just a little bit. I haven't washed it. I haven't made the coat. I haven't washed it. If you're not exact, it's not going to make a big difference. But you're aiming for about 1/8 of an inch. And if you're a beginner, this is a good way to practice your 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
You're often trying 1/4 of an inch. I'm getting used to a new sewing machine, so this is good practice for me to see what works at about, you know, for lining things up. So you do all those that you can do. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, that's the reveal. Just a minute. Then we'll just take one and show you how you chop it up. Okay. Now my little ruler comes in handy again. I don't know if I have to use, yeah, I use the lines like this. 5 by 5. Somewhere I have a header. There we go. And we're going to slice what I call slice and dice. Line her up. Whoop, I think I moved it, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There we go, and you kind of keep these together for efficiency's sake. I should have just kept that together a little better.
Oh, so you're gonna cut them into fours?
Cut it into
Oh,
four.
make one block and cut it into, oh my gosh. She comes up with some of the neatest ideas. Just
Well,
that
like I said,
Christmas
I'm
hot
not,
pad.
this is an original, I found this idea, so.
Oh, I love
So then you've got your stack, like, here's a stack. Now you go to your design wall. Let's shut that off, don't kill ourselves. And you play. You put them all whichever way. You're trying for darks and lights, you know, to
so. Oh, pretty, pretty.
just kind of keep going. Just have fun with it. You notice you really can't make too many mistakes. I'm going for lights and darks just so they're not all dark together, but you know, just you
Oh
play
my
around with it.
gosh.
And then you just, in this sort of thing, you can, what they call it, piece when you just go one after the other, string piece.
Yeah.
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 Chain.
Chain piece.
Chain.
So you go to your machine, zzz, you just run off chains and change and
Yeah.
change, and then you, they recommend that you iron the seams open, because with this, particular design, you are going to be using the halves, you know, if you have two together like this, you're going to be changing this around quite, oh, actually, you're going to be changing this. This is their final one, where you have one finished. And when you're setting this out in a quilt, you might be moving it around quite a lot, where this seam, if it's pressed open, will be a lot easier to
And if
match
it's
up.